Blackbeard got a lot of new support with the starter deck 27 cards, but is it worth putting in your current decks? Well, let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Mabi here, and today I'm going to be giving you my personal deck profile for this Marshall D Teach later that came out in OP09. However, it's supported by ST27 and everything OP11 and below. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the game plan here. Letting you guys know right off the bat, I am not running this new card here. This one also came out in ST27. This one allows you to rest this to KO card. Now, the reason being, it's because I have currently two deck lists that I'm running for this. One that is focused on destruction like this, and one that is focused on basically reviving as much as possible your Jesus Burgess. So we're going to talk about this one soon, and if you guys want to see this one, make sure to let me know in the comments and I'll go ahead and upload a video ASAP. But that's the reason why we're not running this today, just so you guys know. Okay, so as mentioned, the game plan is reviving as much as you can the Burgesses. Let's talk about every single card. However, if you want to follow along, here is the deck list in the comments below. It's on my website. There you can see it in image and text format. Let's get started. Okay, so Marshall D Teach OP09, 5,000 power and 5 life, 4 Emperors, Blackbeard Pirates. This is pretty much a 90% Blackbeard deck. Your on plays are negated. None of your on plays work for good and bad purposes. Activate main, trash 1 card from your hand. Your opponent's on plays are negated till the end of your opponent's next turn. Well, obviously you want to use this depending on the matchup, you know, 6 Dawn, 8 Dawn, 10 Dawn, etc. When you know your opponent has a specific card that they want to play at a specific time, go ahead and KO that. Go ahead and trash a card, rather. Now, this is really good as well because you might think of it as a deficit. It can really help boost up your 4-cost Jesus Burgesses, which is your win condition if you think about it. Okay, so let's talk about the first card coming in, Lafitte. For OP09, 1/1/1, activate main, rest this character. One of your done. Look at the top 5, grab a Blackbeard Pirates card, then the rest go to the bottom. As mentioned, you will most likely never ever miss with this. The cards that you definitely want to grab with this are gonna be your 4-cost Jesus Burgesses. Then it's going to be your new 6-drop Kuzans, and then at the very end you want to grab these 10-drop Marshall D Teaches. Those are the 3 cards you want to have in your hand and in the trash at all times. Well, basically the Burgess is in the trash, but the rest of them you're good. Okay, so this card, this makes it your deck really consistent. And if you guys like the video so far, please like and subscribe. I do upload daily videos. I will be posting lots of new videos, including the new OP12 leaders, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be pretty exciting. Okay, your next card is going to be Caribou. This is from OP11. This is one of your many 2Ks of the deck. This one is super good. So from OP11, 1/2/2, this has an A blocker, which is great for 1 cost. On play, trash 2 cards from your hand. It does not matter. Your effects are negated. So the only cards that are not Blackbeards, it's going to be these Caribou Pirates and these finger pistols. So there's a very low chance that you're gonna miss with this Lafitte, and even and you might technically can miss with your full alert stage, but it's way worth having in here. Now this is really good because you can block for the Lafitte, so you can keep searching for more cards, and you can also block for one of your best cards of the deck, which is going to be your Jesus Burgess. Now, as I mentioned, you kind of want these in the trash, but after they're on the field, you know, 7,000 power, 8,000 power, your opponent might just run their face into it and attack it. So these ones are really good for keeping them safe. And because you're not running a lot of cards, like, you know, you don't care too much about playing on curve that much, you're going to have a lot of extra Dawn to throw out little small guys like this. Next off, it's going to be stronger, more of your 2Ks. From OP09, 1/02, activate main, trash this card and this character. Trash 1 card and this character. If your leader is a Blackbeard, you get to draw 1 card, then give up to one of your opponent's characters -2. This is primarily here for a 2K and searching. You are usually never going to be using this unless you really need to combo with your finger pistol. Otherwise, there's no reason to throw this on the board at all. All right, we have another new card from ST27. Katarina Devon, Blackbeard Pirates. Another 2K. Yeah, there's a lot of 2Ks in this deck. 1/1/2. Activate main. Trash this character. If your leader is Blackbeard, give up to one of your opponent's -1 cost. On KO, draw 1 card. Now, we talked about this already with the stronger. You can go ahead and you can use it technically with the finger pistol, but you'd rather be setting up your board a lot. It's primarily here for a 2K as well, and so you don't miss with your Lafittes, and so you don't miss with your full LEDs. Anyways, the 2K is really good. All right, time for more searching. This is My Age from OP09. Cost 1, look at the top 3, grab a Blackbeard, and the rest go to the bottom of your trash. We already talked about which cards you want to grab. Jesus as a 4 cost, your 6-drop Kuzan new blockers, your 10-drop Martial Lead Teaches, that's what you want to grab. And the trigger here is activate the main effect, very good. So you have a lot of searching, you have a ton of searching, and you have a lot of sifting in this deck. It's like extremely important that you know exactly, what's in your trash, what's left in your deck, so you can kind of figure out what's going to be coming up next. Okay, time for one of your key cards of the deck. Honestly, if you find this in your opening hand, you keep it. You keep this thing right away when you play it. I would 100% play it over This Is My Age and, of course, Lafitte, because you want to use this every single turn, and you want to trash. So activate main, trash 1 card, so you can go ahead and fix up your hand. Let's say you have a bunch of these extra ones you don't need. You find extra full LEDs, you trash those. If you're bricked up somehow, bricked up Kappa. Okay, so look at the top 3. Grab a Blackbeard Pirates, who already said what we want to grab. Then the rest go to the bottom of your deck. This card would be absolutely broken if everything went to your trash like this, but it's still good because every single card you can go ahead and trash a card. So this really fix up your hand. Next off, we have some Vosco Shots. This is from OP09, 2/2/1. This has innate blocker, Blackbeard Pirates, really good for grabbing with all of your cards. Now, the reason why it's in here is we actually are running 3 of these in here. As mentioned, your win condition are going to be these Burgesses. There's going to be a lot of turns where you're going to be floating 1 to 2 to 3 Dawn, because you really don't have anything to play after the 6-drop in between your 10 drops. So you're going to want to throw little small things like this to once again protect Lafittes to continue searching. You want to protect your life because every single turn, yeah, you do want to take a hit, but you also want to put some presence on the board in order to protect your life when you're low, and of course protect your key pieces like the Burgess, like I talk about. So this one really helps out. Also, this one can also be grabbed from the trash via the 5-drop Kuzan and the 6-drop Kuzan. So these are much more valued in here than you would think. Now, time for your win condition. Like I said, with the inclusion of this new 6-drop, I'm running 2 different decks now. One that's all around Jesus, and one that's all around, KOing characters. So this one is this one. So, OP09, 4/5/1. This character cannot be KO'd by effects. It can still be trash in bottom deck, so you got to be very careful. And also bounce back to your hand, which isn't the worst case scenario. So if your leader is Blackbeard Pirates, this character gets 1,000 for every 4 cards in your trash. And by the time that you play this, you're most likely at least going to get the bump up of 1, especially if you're doing stuff like This Is My Age. And of course, a bunch of these Lafittes, making sure you get cards and you can trash cards. So if this card gets trashed, or if this card gets battled and KO'd, there are a lot of ways to bring this back. But basically, you want to play this when you don't have anything else to play, and you want to use this as a counter to throw to the trash. Reason being, it's because we have some really good cards in the form of the 5-drop Kuzan and the 6-drop Kuzan that brings these guys back, and your opponent will cry. Okay, so this is your win condition. Towards the end of the game, this will be like 9,000 power or 10,000 power plus passively. Really good and amazingly strong. Time for a new card from ST27 as well. We're adding this one in here. Juan Wolf, ST27, Giant Blackbeard Pirates, 4/6/1. If your leader is Blackbeard Pirates types, this character gains blocker and +1 cost for every 4 in your trash. Now, because you are trashing a lot in the deck to power up these, this will inevitably get also powered up as well to make it a little bit harder for this to be removed. As I mentioned, you want to keep your Jesus alive, as well as, when you're down to 1 or 0 life with these Vosco Shots and these Juan Wolves. Running 3 of these and 3 of these so you can fill out the different curves. This one is also a very good target if you have enough Jesus Burgesses and you want to summon something with your Kuzan. So this is why this is on the field. The on play is trash 1 from your hand, which doesn't matter because you don't trash anything with on plays. Okay, the next card we have here is going to be a Black Hole from OP09. This is one of your very few removals. So 4/0, activate main if your leader is a Blackbeard. Negate the effect of a character, and then if that's 4 or less, you can KO it. There's lots of good ways to use this. For example, the black Kuzan, the black, not Kuzan, Borsalino blocker, that's super annoying. You can go ahead and KO the 4-drop Jesus Burgess if you're in a mirror scenario. And there's also the yellow 4-drop Kikunojo, which when you KO it at a certain requirement, they heal. So there's a lot of ways to use this and get rid of it. It's really awesome. Also, the trigger is negate the effect of opponent's leader or characters during this turn. This might come into play, especially if you're playing like a Vegapunk. They won't be able to use their ability. Maybe you're playing against a Dofi who wants to attack kind of last with their leader. This can negate that. So there's a lot of good ways to use this. But because we're not primarily a KO deck, we're only running 2. Same reason why we have the Finger Pistol here. So 4 cost and Finger Pistol CP9, one of the bricks in your hand for searching for Blackbeards and sifting. Activate main Trash 2, which is really good for the deck. That's why it's in here. It helps fill out the trash more in order to fulfill your requirements more. Then KO up to one of your opponent's 5 or less. Now, basically, it's just 1 less. However, we're running 2 in here, and you might run more of one, more of the other. Depending on the matchup, it really depends. Like, if you really don't care about your opponent's character effects or their leaders with the trigger, you run a lot of these. You know, basically that. But yeah, this trigger is really good. Activate the main effect. You want to trash 2? That's not a cost. That's a buff for this character. Then you KO a 5-drop. It's really good. So these are your only KO effects. Okay, now for Kuzan. This is one that came out in OP10 550. This character cannot be removed by the field from your opponent's effects. Really strong, meaning if you kind of play this on curve, you can go ahead and wait a turn, attack into a character or leader, and then when you want to, you can anytime you want trash the character, draw 1 card, so it replaces itself. But you also get a Blackbeard pirate, so the cost of 5 or less from your trash. Now this is interesting because you get to play it and it does not be rested. So if you really need a pinch blocker and you already attack with this Kuzan, you can grab the Juan Wolf, which, you know, by this time you need the blocker. It's going to be very powerful. You can also, and you know, the best thing to do is grab these Burgesses. So you attack, go crazy, then you add this. If this was in your trash via countering or whatever, you can also have the Vosco Shots. So you have 3 amazing cards to grab with this. High priority, second priority, tiny third priority. That's what you want to grab. It's very, very, very good card. Okay, it's only a brick, but if you have so many, we have a lot of sifting. Time for the other card of the deck, Kuzan ST27, another new card, 6/6/1. Nice, it has a counter. So this one has an A blocker, nice. On KO, play a Blackbeard Pirates 5 or less rested. Now we just talked about which ones you want. So interestingly enough, if this was the last card, like for example, you can really strategically play against your opponent's attacks. If they're attacking one last time and you know nothing else is coming out, you can go ahead and block, let this thing get KO'd. You can bring out this Kuzan. This Kuzan can attack, and you can go ahead and do other stuff again. Or if you want an attack next turn right away with your Burgesses, you do that. So there is a lot of different sorts of strategies here, and because it comes in rested, if it's the last one, it doesn't really matter, right? Because they're gonna come right back up. So it really depends on what you want. But basically, if you're gonna go for a blocker, you want this Kuzan first in order to attack and do whatever, then draw a card and then grab one of these. But if you need to get the Burgesses, do this so it'll come back up on your turn and then attack. This is a crazy good card. And now there are 8 cards in the deck that can grab these Burgesses from the trash very reliably. This one and this one. Now you might be saying this one also grabs stuff from the trash, not reliably. This one's on KO. Grab a black character from your trash. It can be anything. A black card. It can even be an event. However, this, you don't get to play this. So this is well suited in a deck for more towards lowering costs and KOing, which, as I said, there's going to be another upcoming deck list if you guys are interested running this and other stuff. And I think that deck doesn't even run this one as well, because you either want to go more in one direction or the other to be consistent. If you kind of mix and match, there's going to be a lot of times where it just doesn't work. So that's why we're running 2 different setups here. Okay, now for the last card of the deck, it's going to be this Marshall D. Teach from OP09, 10, 12, 0, innate blocker, 12,000 blocker, that's sick. Activate made once per turn. If your leader, once per turn. If your leader's Blackbeard Pirates, and this character was played this turn, meaning you can only play the turn that is played, negate the effect of up to one of your opponent's leader for this turn, then negate the effect of an opponent's character, and that character cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. So this is very good, and the whole point of this deck is, once again, Burgesses, play, late game, and then martially teaches to stop the opponents, attack, stop the opponent, attack, and of course you want to keep trashing stuff to mess with the on play. This deck is very consistent in going late game. You are very tanky, you have a lot of blockers, you have a lot of ways to bring things back, so you are most likely always gonna hit 10 Dawn by the end of the game, unless your opponent outplays you and you end up getting rushed down, but it's gonna be hard to do so with all of your amazing abilities here. So and that is it for this deck. ST27, my god, with the inclusion of these Kuzans, it just buffs up these Kuzans as well. It makes the Jesus Burgess more consistent. These ones are okay. They're decently adding in. Nice, look at the Jesus Burgess here. And Vosco Shots. And of course, the new Katarina 2K makes it so it's even more consistent for more, searching and stuff like that. But yeah, this deck is really cool. And trust me, I've done like hours and hours of testing, and I think this is probably one of the ones that I would run. My other Lafitte kind of fell down. All right, but anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think. And once again, like and sub. It really helps out the channel. Let me know if you guys want to see the other deck lists involving this leader. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.